unfortunate driver who beats the record, the 300 mph record with Chiron Super Sport, a new car produced in 30 models. Andy, what's the feeling to drive those cars at this speed, incredible speed? Did you have some fear because a little thing you can crash or the tire can explode? What is your feeling? What happened during this record?
Well,
Andy?
I mean, you're right. And of course, in order to do this properly and to do this safely, you need to have all the right engineering in place. The Bugatti team of engineering were fantastic. Aerodynamic team was fantastic, and of course Moslheim. They build anyway the best tyres in the world for sure. But
they are serial tyres or special
they
tyres for the Bugatti Super Sport?
They are a serial tyre, but everything being checked and X-rayed for this record to be sure there's no defects of any kind. And then, what is it like to drive the car? Well, it's incredibly fast, obviously. 490 kilometers an hour. It's 136.24 meters per second. So it's really fast. Everything's happening quickly. You don't just jump in the car and go. You build up to this.
Can we push to near the car?
And in fact, I was driving 1,000 kilometers at the test track during the whole week to reach the speed. So what you see inside now, we have a roll cage in there, obviously, so for safety, just for this run. Also a full race seat, but otherwise the car's pretty much as the production car will be. And the main thing is to validate all the data that you have from the wind tunnel and all the other data that you have, and you validate it at various speeds, and you just slowly increase the speed. And on the very last day we did the 490.48 kilometer per hour run, and it was fantastic.
And there is a polemic with NSC and other things, but I don't want to speak about this. But Bugatti told us that if it was in Nevada, it will be easier to go to more than 500 kilometers per hour.
Well, yes, because
the level of the sea, the temperatures.
It's more to do with the altitude. Means the air is less dense.
Yes.
So you have less drag. So therefore you would go faster. This is true. But
it's less security, safe. It's less safe because
if you're on the test track, we can make sure that we check every area of the track for small pieces, which is very difficult to do on the road. Yes. So for security, it was better there. Also, to make a record at 50 meters above sea level, as we were, this is a fantastic achievement because that speed really is fast at that altitude. So it's not quite so easy as when you see the video.
Yes.
The car is moving around a lot, but you build up a confidence over all of the runs that you do, and eventually, you just learn to try to keep the car straight.
So all the appendix, aerodynamic appendix on the front, at the back with the longer tail, it's only for this speed.
So what you need to do when you want to do a really, really high speed car, drag is incredibly important. Power is important, of course, but you need a lot more power to go some kilometers quicker when you pass 450, for example. Yes. But if you reduce the drag, you have much more success with gaining speed. So it's a whole package, though, as you heard before. It's everything. It's the tires, it's the suspension, it's the body, the shape. Everything needs to be perfect to do this speed. And I could never work with better people than the engineers in Bugatti. They were absolutely fantastic.
And if Bugatti ask you to go, I think they won't. But if they ask you to go further, more than 500, will you accept? Did you have a fear to drive so fast?
Well, I think if you don't have a fear, there's something wrong with you because always something can go wrong. Yeah, and you can make all of the safety procedures you want, but there's still a risk at the end.
Yes.
Would I do it again? Well, you should never say never.
Yes. So let's see the future. Okay, can you show us what's the specific on this car, on the design, please?
What is different?
Yeah, what is different?
Well, aerodynamically, what you see is the car is longer, and what happens when the car is longer, it means you can get the same aerodynamic downforce, lift characteristics, but you can do it with less drag.
Yes.
The tail's longer, it makes a much smoother passage through the air. And then at the front, one of the things you have to be really careful with, there's a lot of pressure builds up inside the wheel arch.
Yes.
And if that air can't come out, it goes under the car and creates lift. So we have the holes on the top,
okay. This is for this.
and this slot. It's to evacuate the air.
Yeah, okay.
But everything works as a whole package. Nothing works in isolation.
Yes.
You need a good balance.
And this is to this intakes in front is to move the air on the side.
Yeah, it channels the air past as it's going past the wheel. It sucks out the air from the wheel arch too. So it's helping all the way down the side of the car. But it's an amazing car. It's obviously the fastest car I've ever driven.
You can be proud to be the first to have with a serial car.
Yeah. No, it's great.
To reach this.
It's really, really good, and I'm happy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andy Wallace. It was
pleasure.
a great pleasure to meet you, and I hope to see you another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.